अस्सलाम वालेकुम व्यूवर्स, इनकी नेक्स्ट पोइम देखें। यहाँ पे हम futility को देखेंगे। विल्फ्रेड ओन पोइम futility shows the futility of war. Futility का मतलब होता है useless, the brokenness of life. This poem is short, written in 2 stanzas and begin with the death of the soldier in a war. It begins with an appeal to sun. अच्छा, ये कैसे स्टार्ट होती है कि एक सोल्जर है जिसकी डेथ हो गई है, उसका फ्रेंड उसके पास बैठा है और वो सन से अपील कर रहा है, सूरज से अपील कर रहा है कि कैसे वो सर्दियों में हमें अपनी गरम गरम हीट से हमारी सर्दी ख़त्म कर देता है, इसी तरह वो मेरे दोस्त को भी उठा देगा। तो उससे अपील कर रहा है कि तुम तो कुछ भी कर सकते हो, मेरे दोस्त को दोबारा से उठा दो। सिंबलाइज लाइफ एंड होप फॉर द रिकवरी ऑफ डेड सोल्जर। ठीक है, डेड सोल्जर्स। हाउएवर व्हेन स्पीकर सीन्स हिज लाइफ लेस बॉडी, हिज डेड बॉडी, द टोन टर्न्स फ्रॉम होप टू सोरो। जब उसे पता चलता है कि ये तो मर गया, ये नहीं जिंदा होगा, तो उसकी जो उम्मीद है वो ख़त्म होगी और उसकी जो टोन थी वो उम्मीद से अफसुर्दगी में बदल गई। ठीक है, फ्रॉम होप टू सोरो। टर्न हिज voice is turn his tone, turn his way of talking into from hope to sorrow, raising question about the meaning of life. The language is simple, capturing both personal grief and universal sadness. Published in 1920. So यहाँ पे देखें, 2 years after Owen's death in World War One, Wilfred Owen was a British poet and soldier known as one of the greatest poets. जैसे मैं आपको पिछली पोइम में बता चुकी हूँ, his poetry was the honor of the war and the suffering of soldiers. Died in 1980 and born in 1893. On Futility highlights an unnamed soldier who died in a highlights an unnamed soldier who died in a snow in France. The speaker begins with the hopeful tone, wanting to sun to rescue his dead body, then switches to the regret and sorrow when he realizes that death always wins over life. Themed in this poem, fear of war. In Futility, Wilfred Owen shows the fear and sorrow that caused by war. This poem shows the emotional pain of watching a soldier dead, symbolizing countless lives lost in war. The opening line shows the hope that the sun and a life-giving force may bring the dead soldier back, but this hope vanished. The death of soldiers represent the permanent cost of the war, highlighting the sadness of the human life. Owen conveys a deep fear of war through the personal grief of the speakers and the greater hopelessness that represents. War not only ruin individuals, but it also destroys the hope and the faith that guide humanity. This poem shows the futility of war and shows how it disrupts life's natural flow and leaves an emptiness. Power of nature vs human sacrifices. Power of authority, I think यहाँ पे होना चाहिए था. Well, so the poem shows the awful cost of human sacrifices by comparing the healing force of nature with the destruction that caused by war. The sun is a symbolize of life and development, supporting life throughout the history. But even the warmth of the sun is unable to bring the soldier back into life, showing the limits of nature power in the face of human destruction. The comparison shows how pointless fighting is when human behavior goes against nature, balance, and loving character. On shows why humanity sacrifices lives in war while nature exists to support life. The soldier death feels unnatural and out of place, as if war itself upset the balance of existence. On criticizes the senseless loss of life in war, showing how the community sacrifices in war go against the very principle of nature. Meaning of life and creation. On questions the meaning of life and creation in the face of senseless death caused by war. The speaker has an existential crisis after the soldier dies, questioning why life was created if it could be taken away so badly. The feeling of futility increases by the fact that the healing sun, which symbolizes the beginning and continuation of life, is powerless to restore what has been lost, depending on the sense of futility. This theme highlights the disillusionment with the world where war reduced the value of the existence. The speaker questions whether life itself has any purpose to end in such tragedy. On tone shows the frustration about war. To conclude, in Futility, Wilfred Owen shows the theme of fear, nature, power, and existential questioning to highlight the senselessness of war. Through the imagery of the sun and the dead soldiers, he shows the destructive power of human conflict. This poem shifts from hope to sorrow to show the trauma of war. In short, futility is a powerful criticism on war. So I'm done this video. नेक्स्ट वीडियो में हम एक नेक्स्ट और पोइम लेके आएंगे विल्फ्रेड ऑन की. उसके बाद एक और क्वेश्चन पे वीडियो अपलोड करूँगी, बड़ी डिटेल वीडियो. अगर आपको तीनों पोइम नहीं आती, आप उस क्वेश्चन को कर लें तो आपकी जो है तैयारी हो जाएगी. सो नेक्स्ट वीडियो तक मुझे दीजिए इजाज़त. सी यू सून. अल्लाह हाफिज़.